I don't want to generalize this, but I do feel that we women tend to overthink a lot, and we always think that, okay, if there are 10 requirements for any job, or 10 requirements that make me qualified for doing certain things, and if I'm lacking even just one thing, we start to think that we are not capable of doing it.
Hello, and welcome to Authentically Cyber. I'm your host, Kathy Chambers, and joining me today is Teja Sane. Teja, is so great to have you on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. We just recently met. This is only our second conversation, and I just want to tell the viewers and listeners at home, you are in for a treat because she has such an amazing story of her journey into cybersecurity. We're also going to touch on the importance of mentorship today. So before we go there, though, Teja, let's start. Where did your story begin? So you're from India. Let's talk
Mhm.
about growing up in India and your education as you went along there.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So, I come from India, and you won't believe my background is kind of different. Everyone in my family is a doctor. So, I don't know, many of you probably don't know this, but in India, we have only probably three or four options. Our parents support, like, want us to either become a doctor, engineer, few of them think teaching is a good option, CA, that's it. Okay, so those were the only options I had. I really wanted to become, or I wanted to do something in arts, but I, like, my family didn't give me that option. And since everyone was a doctor, they thought that it will be better to just become a doctor, easy choices. And I later realized, like, till I think I was in high school, I so badly wanted to become a doctor. But I don't know, at one point, like, I have always seen my grandpa and my dad reading all the medical books pretty much every single day. So I knew that they had to study even after graduating. There was not a single day to not study. So I was like, no, let's do engineering because that's kind of an easy option, right? Maybe after I graduate, I don't have to study at all. I was so wrong about it, but I did
I was
mechanical.
getting ready to say, wait a second, Teja, that doesn't sound right. But okay, so you went into engineering. Okay.
So then I was like, yeah, let's do mechanical engineering because I used to hate computers. I was really bad with, electronic circuits. I liked maths and I was good at drawing. So I was like, yeah, mechanical engineering sounds like a good option. You need both of them. And yeah, I become mechanical engineer. After that, I was like, what should I do next? But then to my surprise, I landed into Accenture as an, like, IT developer, the thing that I used to hate the most. And even like first 2 years, I was completely clueless. I didn't know what I'm doing. I was still learning different things. But after Accenture, I moved to Semantic. And even there, that's when my mom started kind of telling me that, you know, you are not educated enough. You just have one degree. And you need to study further. I think that's another thing with Indian parents, that they're never satisfied with your education. They
I
want
was
you.
going to ask about that because that's not always the case. Sometimes we're like, oh, we're just happy if you go to college and get a degree. But in India, there are different pressures, right? Like
Yeah,
one's not enough. So that's fascinating. So she encouraged you to keep going.
yeah, and I was so happy with my job. Like, job was good, I was having fun. And she was like, no, you have to get another degree. Education is
Stop having
important.
fun. You're having too much fun.
Yeah, education is important. It's like,
Yes, I
okay,
agree.
fine. So that's how I came to the US. And even with that, like, I kind of decided to select a degree that will take minimum time because I wanted to work again. So that's when I decided to do my master's in information systems. And again, that was like, I was excited for that kind of because, you know, officially I was learning computers for the first time, or anything about the computer subject. and I decided to do a master's in information systems. I came to the US. After graduating, I kind of like, at first I had this all excitement and energy that yes, now I have masters, I have official computer training, education, so maybe I can start something new. But in India, I used to work as a Salesforce developer. And back then, like Salesforce was really popular. Like Salesforce developers were in demand. They still are today. And I again got into a job in which I was working as a Salesforce developer.
You can't get away from Salesforce.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I want to try something different. What's the like? I studied so hard for a year, and again, I'm doing the same thing. It's not fair. But after I think 1 or 2 years, I had a new manager. He was a cybersecurity manager, and I think he was kind of new in my company, and he was trying to build his team.
Hmm.
But I don't know, like first time I met him, I was like, I want to do something different because I've been doing Salesforce for a long time. I don't think it's like, I'm challenged enough. So can you give me something different? And he said, yeah, sure. He assigned me a new project, and that was a very important project. It was a completely new platform, and it was a very important platform for that company because since it was a medical device manufacturing company, we gave a lot of importance to quality management, and that whole platform was for quality, making sure that you know we are checking everything is inspected, our audits are complete and all of that. So it was very important. I worked on that, I learned it. It was super fun, but I got bored after a few, I think after a year or so, and I was like, Sean, his name is Sean Levesque. So I was like, Sean, I need something new. And he was like, well, maybe you can work with finance team or, all these different teams and see what they want to do. And uh, you can start working on that. So that's how I started learning about SharePoint and Power Apps and all those different things. Worked on that again for a few months. This time I learned it even faster.
Okay, so he mentioned cybersecurity to you. Did you know anything about cyber in that moment, or you have any knowledge of it, or was this all new territory for you?
I only knew one thing about cybersecurity. In my mind, I used to think that cybersecurity equals networking as a subject. And I, okay, this is funny, but I got grade D when I took networking subject during my master's. So I was like, Sean, my grades, like, look at my grades. I don't think I'm a good candidate for cybersecurity. Like, it's a bad idea. And he's like, well, you should just give it a try. Give it a try. And he asked me, or yeah, he literally forced me to take cybersecurity exam, Security Plus. Yeah. And you won't believe I took 1 year to give that exam. That too because my voucher was about to expire. And
That's the only reason you took it. You have 1 year to take it. What
yeah,
before you go on, like what was it about the Security Plus? Were you not motivated to do it, or were you scared to take it?
I was so scared because I started reading about it on different platforms, and everyone is like, Security Plus, it's so difficult, it's so confusing. And of course, everybody has a failure, like, fear of failure. And I'm no different. It's like, man, this exam is difficult, and I don't know anything about cybersecurity. I shouldn't be doing this. But then, just before like expiring that voucher, Sean is like, are you gonna take that exam? It's like, okay, fine, let me schedule it. And then I studied for it, I think for like 2, 3 months religiously. And then I finally cleared that exam. But then
Yeah.
after that exam, I was so motivated. I started liking cybersecurity, and I was like, okay, it's not just networking, there are so many different things.
Before you continue your story, I kind of thinking about the beginning of your story where you're talking about your parents and your family. Your dad's a doctor, right? Your brother, yeah, one or two brothers.
Mhm.
They're doctors. Everybody's a doctor. And here you are going down this IT path. Now you're going into the cybersecurity path. What did your family think about this decision around this time in your life?
So, first of all, I'll tell you why I chose my company, how I chose where I want to work. It's very
Okay.
interesting story. I gave interview for Verex and I called my dad and I was like, "Hey dad, I have this offer now and now I have multiple offers and I have to decide which company to choose." You know what they said? The minute he got to know that it's a medical device manufacturing company, he's like, "You're selecting that." I don't want to know anything else. You're selecting that.
Because it's in the medical field. That's great. That's
Yes.
awesome.
I'm like, okay, you just made my decisions really easy. And he was like, I'm really happy about this. Like, okay. And then when I started like learning all these different things, because it's education, like additional education and certificates, they were super happy that I'm continuing my education. And actually, like I agree, like you know, after Security Plus, I kind of got addicted to learning more about security, and Sean is responsible for that because he started giving me
Good or
some
bad, he's responsible.
in a very good way because he started giving me different case studies to read or different books to read. So after Security Plus, I was like, Sean, now tell me what should I do next? And he was like, you know what? I think GSEC will be a good course for you because it has a lot of books, so much to read, and they give you 4 months. So I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So I registered for GSEC. I got that uh, certificate as well after 4 months. And then again, I went back to him and I was like, okay, what next? Actually, I used to decide like just before giving the exam that what if I clear this exam? What do I want to do next? So just before GSEC, I was like, Sean, what should I do next? What should I do next? And he's like, yeah, CISSP is a giant book. You will have lot to read.
He's
Go
trying to
with
think of like harder things for you to do to keep you entertained and challenged.
yeah, go with that. It's a difficult, like, it's a huge book. So I was like, okay. So right after GSEC, I started studying for CISSP, and even that was done. But oh my gosh, CISSP was kind of difficult. So after that, I was like, oh my, this is it. I'm tired.
The CISSP was the thing that did you in. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let me ask you real quick though. What why were you so hesitant to go into technology? You know, you said that you didn't know anything about computers. Was that part of your hesitancy? Like you weren't sure if you could learn it? Like what was it that in your mind that was stopping you?
That thing, and again, like, I just didn't know anything about it. And I was pretty confident that this is very difficult and I won't be able to learn it, or I'm not that good at logics or learning algorithms. And I don't know, it was just that fear that, or something that I had already decided that I don't like it, I don't want to try it, I'm not even going in that direction. And
Do you,
I think like yeah, now when I look back, I kind of feel I was so wrong. Like I was so wrong.
do you feel like passing the security plus was your first realization that you could do it? You're like, oh, wait, I can do this. Do you think passing that certification
Mhm.
was kind of telling for you? At this point, though, you had already had an engineering degree and a master's degree, right?
Yes. I
Okay.
think
And you still were doubting yourself at
yeah.
this point.
I
Do you
mean,
think why is that? Was that a like a confidence, self-confidence thing? Was it imposter syndrome? Like what was it that was making you doubt that you could do this?
I think imposter syndrome, and you know, I don't want to generalize this, But I do feel that we women tend to overthink a lot, and we always think that, okay, if there are 10 requirements for any job, or 10 requirements that make me qualified for doing certain things, and if I'm lacking even just one thing, we start to think that we are not capable of doing it.
I do that too. Like I go through the requirements and I'm like, okay, well, I
Yeah.
could do 80%, but there's a 20% doubt that I could do
Not,
it. Yeah.
not for me. I won't be the perfect candidate for that. But I think it's not about, like, being perfect. It's
Mhm.
just how quickly you can learn, or if you're ready to learn something new.
Yeah, yeah. So right now you're working at Walmart now on their
Hmm.
on their team. How did you get into that? You know, Walmart is a major corporation, so I just think your story is fascinating because you went from not knowing anything about computers or technology into just making the switch and then diving into cyber, even though you were even hesitant about doing that. Now you're working in cyber at Walmart. How did you get into there?
This is another interesting story. I think, like, I was not looking for a job change, but I think this is right after clearing CISSP, and I was thinking about doing CISSP concentration. So, like, it's, they have those three concentrations, and you really have to study hard for that, and they don't have any specific books for that. So, I was thinking about that, and I was doing my research on that. And all of a sudden, one day on LinkedIn, I got, on, like, under people you may know, I got a suggestion, and this was the
Mhm.
person working for Walmart in cybersecurity. And in the description, they had written that even they are trying to uh, study for CISSP concentration, and they're also teach, or they're a professor at this university. And I got, like, so excited. I was like, oh wow, this person is also preparing for, the same exam, and just like Sean, they know how to teach people. So I sent a connection request, and then we started talking about different things, and if it's really important to give this exam, or what type of preparation we need to do. And I was like, I don't even know if I'm ready for that, because it's that exam is really hard. And that's how we started talking. And I think after a week or so, they were really nice, and they were like, this is the new opening at Walmart. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I looked at it, and I was like, can you please refer me there? And they actually did. And
Oh,
that's how I
wow.
got that job. So, so yeah.
That's amazing. I tell people all the time that connecting with people on LinkedIn is so important. And a lot of people listen and some people don't, but it's stories like yours that just go to show like you can't just connect with people, you have to start those conversations. Um just think about how different your life would be if you didn't have those conversations.
Exactly. And, like, you just never know what will happen next. So yeah, like, I am not someone, like, I struggle a lot with having conversations, but whenever it is about talking about technology or learning something new, that kind of excites me. So I think it's very easy to have a communication when you're talking about the points that you are interested in, or that really make you happy. So I think that's the one tip I would like to give to everyone who is kind of hesitant to have, or start a conversation.
Yeah, because like that's what we always say. A lot of people in the cyberspace say you got to find your people because not everybody is going to be interested in exactly what you're interested in. But when you find those people, like you're like, oh wow, they're studying for CISSP too. Like when you find those people and you make those connections, you never know where it's going to lead. You are
Yeah.
missing out on so many potential opportunities by not taking that first step. So that's great advice. And like you said, like it's something that you're super interested in. So why not? Why not try it? So we're going to transition a little bit into mentorship because Sean, I don't know Sean, but you've said his name quite a few times. So we need to talk about Sean. He was, you consider him a mentor, correct? Like
Hmm.
he's okay. What, how important has he been to your journey in cybersecurity?
Okay, so before meeting Sean, I always used to think that you don't really need a mentor. or I used to think that mentors cannot really help you because they don't know what you really like or what your ambition is. And, it's just two people are never the same. So it's like just difficult. But then when I started having conversations with Sean and when he started giving me advice, or when he realized that, okay, I maybe cybersecurity is a better field for me, just because I enjoyed trying different things or whatever. He used to teach students, so I think he already knows how to give a direction. uh, so I think like everything that has happened is because of him, because he was so persistent. He's like, you should give that exam, you should learn more about cybersecurity. And at the same time, like, he gave me really good direction. So he kind of changed the whole thing, or he kind of changed my perception about mentoring others. And that's when I kind of realized that it is extremely important to have a mentor, because they kind of know you better than you sometimes. They are the people who can give you advice, or right advice actually, and they can show you that direction, which, like, I struggle to understand what I really like for a really long time. I struggle to understand what I want to work in. And I always used to question myself, like, is this even possible? Like, it's been 5 years, it's been 6 years, and every year I'm just asking the same question to myself, that where will I be after, say, 3 years or after 5 years? I just don't have that long term plan. And I think that's when Sean gave me that guidance, and he showed me the direction that maybe, like, since you get bored so quickly with so many things, he always used to say that, trust me, you'll never get bored with cybersecurity because there are so many things.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm thinking back to the beginning of your story when you said you used to see people in your family, they just always reading medical journals and always reading guides and just trying to keep up with their industry. And you were like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to keep studying. But man, cybersecurity, Teja, that's like I mean, I don't want to say something new every week, but it sure feels that way. Is it like that at work? Do you feel like you're constantly getting new things are happening and there are new things that you have to learn?
Oh yes, always. Like, don't they say something like, you always have to keep running to, like, keep your knowledge updated? Like, you
Yeah, it's
can't
like
walk.
continuous learning. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yeah.
every day it's something new, new challenges. Like, I love it because it's always like I'm thinking about it all the time, that how can I improve this? How can I, improve the process, or how can I do better? But yeah.
As a female in cyber, has anything been different? And would your life or your career trajectory look different if it wasn't for having a mentor like Sean?
Okay. So, first thing, does it feel different being a woman in tech? I don't think so. Just because I come from a mechanical engineering, and out of class of, like, it was class of 120 students, there were less than 10 girls. So, I mean, I was kind of used to it, like surrounded, not surrounded by women. And second part, yes, if it was not for Sean, everything would have been completely different, because I'm pretty sure I still would have been thinking about, w- like, what to do, what I really like to do, or what is my plan after 3 years, or what is my plan after 5 years.
Has Sean inspired you now you said that now you're really interested in mentorship. What does that mean to you? Are you now giving back because of what he gave to you?
Yes, because now, like, every time I go back to India, you won't believe, like, kids nowadays, they are, I don't know, they're so excited to learn more about information security. They're so excited to learn about cybersecurity. So every time I go back to India, I usually have, like, lot of students who come to see me. Maybe they are like my dad's patients and their, kids, or maybe it's some local class where they invite me to give some, uh, to share some thoughts with the students. And I just love that. First of all, I love that how these kids have clarity of what they want to do, though they are just in high school. And I didn't have that. So I think like if I'm able to shape someone's future, like just by giving them right advice, because uh, I don't think I took anybody's advice, or I didn't even ask right questions when I was in high school. For me, it was like, oh, okay, I'll decide it later. It's amazing that now, like since such a young age, they are so focused and they know what they want to do. And they directly ask questions like, oh, so what is ethical hacking, and how can I build my base, how can I improve my skills, because I want to be this. And uh, I was amazed by that. S- so just because someone even offered me a job at Walmart, like I don't think I would have actively searched for it. I got it because someone really helped me, or I got into cybersecurity because someone gave me right direction. I think now it's on me to give it back.
No, I think that's great. That's like a huge part of being in the cybersecurity community is to give what you take, right? So
Mhm.
people have giving you these awesome opportunities, and I think that it's wonderful that you're trying to give back, especially to the younger generation. And what's cool about all of this is that because you didn't grow up in tech, right? That's not what you grew up in. Some of the high schoolers that you were talking to, they've grown up in it. Like literally, they
Mhm.
grew up in tech. And so what's cool about this whole story is that because you had to go through what you went through and the journey you went through, and you literally had to start at ground zero and learn everything, the advice you are giving them is incredible because you've already done it. You've already been through all the steps, you went through all the certifications, you did all the building, you did the special projects, like you've been there. So I think it's really cool that you have that opportunity to now give back.
Mhm.
Is there anything that you would have done differently? Like anything you would have told your younger self? You know, you said in high school you weren't sure which way to go. Looking back, is there anything that you would have done differently?
Oh yes,
Oh yeah.
100%. Yeah,
It's
like
funny because like some people are like, "Oh no, the journey has been amazing and life's a journey," but you're like, "No, I would have done something." What
yeah,
would you
because
have done differently?
first of all, like I used to be so scared of failures or trying
Mm.
different things. So I think there is nothing wrong with that. And it's so exciting to learn different things, or always say yes to all the challenges that come your way.
What are some parting words that you could give our viewers and listeners? I love that take the challenges that come your way. Any other advice, whether it be getting into cyber or mentorship, any other, final thoughts you would like to say?
Just say that cyber is not just about networking. There are so many other parts to it.
There are so many different parts.
Mhm.
And I always say you just have to find your place. You don't have to be a pen tester. You don't have to be incident response. You don't have to, like, there's just, it's so huge. It's such a huge field. And I always say, like, I'm not even a practitioner. I'm on the media side. That's a whole other field. And it's a big field. So I just think it's incredible that you have found your way, and now that you are helping other people find theirs. I think that's super cool.
Fine.
Congratulations on your success. You have a beautiful story. I love it. I love it so
Thank
much.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you opening up and telling your story about your journey and being honest about everything and the challenges that you went through and all the things that you overcame. I think it's amazing. And to all of our viewers and listeners, thank you so much for being here, for joining us. And I hope you are able to join us on the next episode. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.